has got another 3 turrets up in defense. C will be forced to bring his Marines back, and C this time has a group of Marines with medics this time to defend, and Jaedong's harass is going to be much less effective, and Jaedong hugely behind. Well, you can't say he's behind, but definitely he's not. Doesn't look like he has the necessary ingredients to be able to defend against C. He doesn't even have a Hydralist and he doesn't have his tech up, and he just brilliantly takes off that SCV that was building that factory. So that's going to buy him a little bit of time, but his middle is coming under serious fire. He loses another couple, and he runs out again, flies out again off C's Expo. But the fact that he's killed all those medics and Marines and those firebats is going to give him a little bit of time. It's going to buy him the time he needs. C just scanning that defense there. C unfortunately obviously does not have enough to break that defense. He's lost almost 2 full groups of medic and Marines. He is producing quickly though, because he's got that expansion up and running, and he's had that up for a long time, on par with Jaedong in terms of economy for a long time. And I'm not sure if Jaedong is going to be able to defend that expansion that he has set up at the 12 o'clock base. He does have that group of Mutalisks, and he has done consistent pressuring off C with those Mutalisks, and that is definitely good play by Jaedong. But I do feel he left that expansion very late, very late. Perhaps he felt he had to do that because of his initial starting build. Jaedong once again going, he's going to force C back once again back to his base with those Marines. C does have a group of Marines in his main, but he's left that kind of south corner undefended, doesn't have as many, and C very careless by C. That factory is not being built. What the hell is C thinking? That factory is not being built. Jaedong took that SCV out, and C did not put another SCV on it. So careless by C. I mean, I know if you watch the first person one of these guys when they play, everything is split second. They barely look at their screens for a second, and perhaps that is playing to C's disadvantage here. But that is incredibly careless by C. He's got that factory 3/4 finished, or 2/3 finished, and he did not send another SCV out to it for some time now, and he's just giving Jaedong more and more time to get some sort of economic foothold in this game. And Jaedong again with excellent Mutalist harass, Jaedong with excellent Mutalist harass, picking off more Marines, doing a good job of keeping C. And once again they're focusing on that factory. What is C doing? He's got an SCV sitting idle right next to it, right next to that damn factory, and it's not being built. So C, I don't know what he's doing. That decision in the last game to call GG when there was no need to, and in this game not building that factory, does he want to throw the game away? Has someone paid him off? I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm only kidding when I say that. I don't mean that seriously. I'm not trying to seriously speculate that C would be interested in throwing this game off. It's not even against his teammate. And once again, Jaedong's Mutalist incredibly effective this game. He's killed off at least 3 full control groups of Marines now, and those 2 medics getting taken out as well. And now C's defense is behind that middle line, and C really has not been able to cope with Jaedong's Mutalist harass. He's not been able to cope, and that is poor by C. You've got to say that's poor play by C. Jaedong with the 2 hatchery build being effective, and we haven't really seen that often on this map on Python. And again, it looks like we are seeing a pretty decent game here, and maybe I feel it's decent because I'm a Zerg fan. But C in huge trouble now. Jaedong's got that expansion up at the 12 o'clock position, and C has lost so many Marines. He's in no position to even be thinking about pushing out against Jaedong. And it'll be interesting to see if Jaedong has started up his tech towards high. Finally, he's started up that evolution chamber and Queen's Nest. But again, C just completely in trouble here. He is in huge amounts of trouble, and he finally is finishing that factory about 5 hours too late, I'm afraid, my friend. That factory is 5 hours too late for you. I don't know what you were thinking. Obviously, you were not thinking, but you're going to pay the price for it. And if C loses this game, he's going to have to blame himself, because he was in a very strong position when he set up that expo at his natural expo, and Jaedong's initial attacks did nothing, and his defense was brilliant. And C now has scouted that expansion at the 12 o'clock. Unfortunately, he has nothing to actually be able to do damage to it. He's nothing to actually be able to attack it. And Jaedong showing us what a good player he is, coming out in the crunch at this point in time. And I would certainly favor him to come out on top in this match. Obviously, anything is still possible. Terran players are great at coming back. He saw Firebat here when it looked like he was out of it. But it continues to be a thorn in his side. He's now putting up that starport. Obviously, he realizes he needs science vessels. But it'll be interesting to see what Jaedong's tech is. We haven't looked at Jaedong's main in some time now, and I really want to see what Jaedong's tech is. And Jaedong has really amassed a large group of Mutalisks because he's been constantly pumping Mutalisks, and he's still playing a lair tech game, so that's very interesting. Jaedong's still playing a lair tech game, and that might be a little bit of a mistake, because yes, he is doing damage to C, yes, he's hurt his economy many-fold, yes, he's killed a lot of Marines, but what's he going to do when C just pushes up that middle with a group of medic Marines and tanks? What's he going to do then? And science vessels. Jaedong continues to do great damage to C's economy. That just laying waste to those SCVs and those Marines. And C's main is under siege. Is it absolutely under? You know, if this was a terrorist attack, this would be threat level 10. And C in massive trouble here, mining only from that one expo. So that advantage that he had up that expo has been successfully countered by Jaedong. And this is a fairly unorthodox strategy. You've got to give credit to Jaedong for pulling it off. Although I would give a lot of recrimination to C, a lot of giving out to C for the way in which he has defended against this. Poor in my opinion. And Jaedong now pushing down that middle. That tank is vulnerable. Jaedong should try and take that tank down, but it looks like he's decided that C doesn't have a lot of Marines, and it looks like he's decided he's got enough Mutalisks to just go hell for leather and go straight down the throat and go for the killing blow here. And C not having a lot. Jaedong, brilliant! He's split his Mutalisks up into two groups. He's got enough Mutalisks that one group is taking out that turret, the other Mutalist focusing on holding those Marines up that ramp, and now he's going to re-emerge that group and take down those remaining Marines. Excuse me, and that is going to be GG. That is going to be GG. Jaedong winning, and this is, I believe, the first time we've seen this. This is the first time we've seen a Zerg player winning a game with pure lair play, with a 2-hatch build on Python. So again, it shows how great this map is, that all these different builds are viable on it, and see already his main being in tatters is forced to retreat his SCVC, obviously refusing to give up because this is a best of 3, and this is the final match, this is the final round in that best of 3, and obviously once he loses this game he's going to be out of the competition. So C obviously not wanting to concede, but it's hopeless now. It's been hopeless for a little bit now, and it is definitely hopeless now. And C, I just don't know, he's made so many mistakes in this game. His defense was appalling versus that Mutalisk harass. You know, I didn't feel that Jaedong's Mutalisk harass was necessarily that special. I just feel that C made a lot of mistakes. He had that group of Marines trying to defend against the Mutalisk without the support of any medics, so the stims weren't that effective obviously, and Jaedong has now got a few Zerglings as well, just finishing off the buildings in that, and if he loses his expo that's going to spell even more trouble for C, and C just trying to defend without pamphlet, and he's finally got a science vessel out, but he doesn't have obviously enough energy for Irradiate, and Jaedong in firm control of this game. C obviously refusing to concede, but Jaedong really has shown that he can play quite well on Python. He seems to have this map down, and that science vessel is going to get taken out. Jaedong poor again, as I said, I'm not impressed with his Mutalisk micro, and that was a little bit poor. That science vessel should have died. There was no reason that science vessel should not have died, but it survives, and I don't know if he only managed to land one of the Scourges on it. The second Scourge didn't land, so maybe I realize I'm perhaps being a little bit overly critical of Jaedong's play here, I guess. And C scanning finds that spire, and C's building a second science facility because I think the first one did get taken out by Jaedong, and C just clinging on by the tips of his fingernails at the edge of the precipice, and he's going to fall over any time now. And again, I guess I'm being a little bit harsh with Jaedong because I'm a Zerg fan and because I want Zerg players to do well, so that's probably why. If I'm being harsh, it's because I love you, not because I hate you. But I for one will be glad to see another Zerg player in the next season's OSL. I think the more the better, and hopefully without Monty Hall we'll have a more even matchup. And that science facility is going to get taken down. C has got a lot of turrets up though, and C's been forced to spend so many resources on those turrets because of Jaedong constantly pumping Mutalisks. And again, as I said, I don't remember the last time I saw a 2, and Jaedong is now starting up Guardians. C has scanned it, and it's back up, and even those, and C's trying to push out with those Guardians, but he doesn't have nearly enough to do anything. He's not even, I don't think he's going to kill any of them before they pop. And Jaedong actually forced to cancel. Jaedong forced to cancel because C scanned, found those Mutalisks in time, and Jaedong forced to cancel those Guardians. But I don't think it matters. The game is over. Jaedong has got map control. C has got nothing, and Jaedong now just morphing those Mutalisks into Guardians further behind in his base, and C almost mined out in his main, and C with it just Jaedong has killed so many Marines that C has not been able to build up a force. He's not been able to build up a force, and that SCV once again at that 12 o'clock expansion, and I'm saying that more for syncing purposes than anything else. And I'm just looking at those Guardians and the 2 Overlords again with the flapping Mutalisk at the edge of the screen, and we're looking at C now, and he's got to be kicking himself. Why the hell did he GG on Monty Hall? He could have come back in that game. Jaedong's Guardians are complete. This is going to deliver the final killing blow. This is going to be the knife now being twisted into C's heart, and C's heart is going to get cut out, and Jaedong is going to eat it. Unfortunately for C, Jaedong is now going to be eating his heart, and C is not going to qualify. And C has got a couple of raids out, but I don't think they're going to be very effective. Jaedong does have, and C D-matrixes those raids, so C trying to use his units as best as he could, but he just doesn't have enough, and those Guardians are just going to lay waste to his base now, and that Wraith D-Matrix yet again is going to go down to those Mutalisks under sustained fire, and Jaedong, C now coming out with, he's got a substantial group of Marines there. He might be able to take out those Guardians, and Jaedong with all of his Mutalisks and Guardians fighting against those Marines, and most of those Marines are dead, and more reinforcements pouring through for Jaedong, so the noose being tightened, and C, can you still feel your heart beating, or is it now lying on the floor underneath Jaedong's feet? That's what I would like to ask him. And I do feel sorry for C, I do feel bad for him. He is a very good player, and he showed in Hitchhiker that he can play interesting and fun StarCraft, but in the 2 straight up games we've had thus far, he hasn't been up to the mark. He has not been up to the mark, and that's all that can be said about him. His defense was appalling, and finally see GG's, finally see calls the game. So that's GG. Jaedong takes that game, and well played Jaedong.